up, guys? Coach Cheryl here from Fitbody Secrets, here to bring you guys your tip of the week. And today I want to talk a little bit about volume and intensity because they are very, very relevant for all of you CrossFitters out there, not just in your training world, but also in your nutrition world as well. So first and foremost, let's kind of talk about the difference between the two. So volume is honestly how many reps we're doing, how much time we're spending in the gym, things like that. Whereas the intensity is how much effort we are perceiving on each of these pieces. So if I tell you guys to get on the assault bike and go really hard for a minute, it's probably going to be super intense versus if I tell you guys to get on the assault bike and go for 30 or 40 minutes, very different stimulus. So both of them have applications for your fitness, and it's really important to understand the delicate balance between the two. So typically, the higher the intensity exercise, the higher the intensity of the workout, the less volume tolerance we're going to have to that. And this is more important for those of you guys looking to find your top end development, your top end strength. So how hard you can, or how heavy you can lift for a 1 rep max, how fast you can do that, or how many calories you can get in a minute on the bike. Those are those higher intensity, higher output things, but they are also extremely taxing on your central nervous system. So if you've ever done a 1 rep max deadlift and you find that the next day you're like, man, all I did was deadlift, but you're super tired and everything feels really heavy and a little bit foggy, it's because your central nervous system was very taxed. The volume was low, but the intensity was very high. Now, on the opposite end of this, lower intensity exercises, we tend to be able to tolerate more volume on. So if I tell you to pedal on the assault bike at a very slow rate, and I don't really tell you that you have to go a specific speed, you can likely handle that for a lot longer. You can regulate how intense you're moving, and you can keep it lower intensity to help you guys be able to go for longer distances. This is also good for things like skill development, developing, more volume in terms of maybe it's that 70 to 75%, getting more comfortable moving loads in that 8 to 12 rep range and things like that. This is great for those of you guys looking to build muscle. A lot of CrossFit is technically, most CrossFit is relatively intense, but it should be at a lower intensity, right? We're not always hitting those 3 to 5 minute workouts. Most of the time we're in that 8 to 15 minute mark, which is going to be intense, but a lower intensity than that high output. And that's kind of that sweet spot there. Now, like I said, there is a delicate balance, and there's obviously that one area of intensity that people tend to shy away from, which is that longer stuff, that 30 minutes plus edge. And there is a huge benefit to that stuff. There is a lot of aerobic capacity we can be building there, a lot of base foundation, a lot of mitochondrial production for those of you guys looking to decrease inflammation and recover better from your higher intensity workouts. But a lot of people shy away from that stuff. But I'll say that for another episode, the zone 2 stuff. But what I really want you to understand is that the higher intensity stuff, we can only handle in small amounts. The lower intensity stuff, we can actually get a lot more benefit from. And the other thing about this is understanding your personality, right? So a lot of people tend to shy away from the longer stuff because they were like, oh my God, that's going to be so painful. They don't like that feeling of being at that 70% for those long durations. And then vice versa, the person that sees a workout like a 2-minute assault bike test might shy away from that. There's oh man, that's going to hurt really bad, or they feel that they just can't push as hard as they like to. So knowing who you're at, where you are and who you're at. Also knowing how you feel that day. So if it's a workout like friend on the board and you didn't sleep well last night and you're like, man, I feel like I'm not going to hit that. It might not be the day to avoid Fran. It might be the day to go in and hit Fran at 75% intensity without worrying about the clock, maybe working on movement quality, maybe doing it with a different stimulus. Maybe you're doing practicing kipping pull-ups or strict pull-ups or something, or maybe you're adding another component to your workout that day. You're going to do an assault bike afterwards. You're going to hit some skill work afterwards to change the actual stimulus of that workout session. So you're not looking to maximize how hard you can go on Fran. You're hitting the stimulus of a 3 to 5 minute workout, and then you're moving on to something a little bit different. Well, 3 to 5 minutes for most people, I should say, for the elite people, not the most people. I'll say 6 to 10 minutes for most people. So that's kind of what I want you guys to understand, is that some days you're not always going to be feeling that high intensity. Other days you might want to take it down and actually just maybe improve the volume. Now, the same thing applies to your guys' nutrition as well. A lot of people are always focusing on, they want to lose weight, they want to lose body fat, they want to do this, they want to do that. And they spend so much time in this hamster wheel of trying to lose body fat, trying to improve their diet, trying to spend all this time doing this. Guys, I'm going to give you 4 words: get in and get out. So whether you're just starting your fitness journey and you're trying to master the basics of your nutrition, get in and get out. Spend the 4 to 6 weeks, understand how to build a quality balanced diet, understand the difference between food quality and quantity, understanding how to build those macronutrients into your diet, and then stop worrying about it. If your goal is fat loss, get in and get out. So spend that 4 to 6 week cycle cutting a little bit of body fat, take a break, and then do it again until you achieve the body composition that you want. We can't always be living in this intense world because we end up getting burned out. And if that's you, maybe you've been burned out by CrossFit, maybe you've been burned out by exercise, maybe you've been burned out by training, maybe you've also been burned out by trying to diet or lose weight and things like that. Ask yourself that. Are you spending too much time going too hard on these goals and not giving yourself enough time to accumulate volume in that like 70 to 75% world? And for most people in the diet world, I look at 80-20 or 80% world. So basic thing that I want you guys to get out of here is finding that balance between intensity and volume and knowing that that goes hand in hand with not just training, but also nutrition as well. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys today. Have a great week.